Yo, what's up and what's happening, and welcome back to It's the Yo Bar series with me, Chris Harding. In today's video, I'd like to just make a very quick video on actually what I do for a living. So one of the jobs that I do, one of the parts of my career is actually working with type 2 diabetics. And the way that I do that is I coach them into changing their habits, things in their lifestyle, such as coping with stress, upgrading their activity levels, and most importantly, writing them a personalized one-to-one nutrition plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into the screen right here. And on the screen right here, you can see a person called Guy, who's a client of mine. And we're basically going to go through the nutrition program that he has right now, or had before we started. And basically what I did is I got him to do a full week, 7-day week recording of all of the food that he eats during that week, so I can get an idea as to why he's developed type 2 diabetes, what's spiking his blood glucose or his blood sugars, and what I can do to help him further. So it's going to come here to this food diary, and I want to go through it really quickly and just point out or highlight some things that are wrong with this guy's diary, and you can probably see it too. So let's just go to Monday here. So you've got a breakfast, which is a store-bought blueberry muffin, large caramel latte. You've got a snack, large cappuccino with sugar. Lunch, you've got a shop-brought turkey and avocado sandwich. You've got a bag of crisps as another snack. For dinner, it's a little bit better, with grilled salmon and granola and a roast broccoli, with roasted broccoli. I've never heard of that before. And then a few squares of dark chocolate to finish. So that's basically his Monday. Then you come down to Tuesday. You've got a Special K cereal bar. Again, you're kind of starting to see already just that there are some slightly processed foods. Now, not dreadful, but you're looking at things like cereal, which are a refined grain. And you've also seen quite a lot of things such as things like crisps, sandwiches, things of that nature. You're also seeing things such as coffee. So you've got here like large cappuccino with sugar. You've also got that repeated down here again on Thursday, a large cappuccino with sugar. And so you can see that this individual is basically trying to have a healthy diet, because when you get to the dinners here, let's say Tuesday, and also let's take Monday and Wednesday, you can see that they're all kind of slightly healthier. They're more made of whole foods. He's got a lot of things right, but then where he goes wrong is things such as like having a candy bar. I've just seen that, probably a chocolate bar, having an ice cream, instant ramen with noodles. Guys in American, so we don't have that over here in the UK so much, but we have things like pot noodles, and having a soda drink. These are all things that are very much high indicators as doing two things for this person. First of all, what he's doing is the food that he's choosing to eat and the regularity of which he's choosing to eat them are actually increasing his insulin level, which is the hormone which stores glycogen or sugar. And if there's too much of that, then that's a problem. Too much spiking of insulin is a problem for type 2 diabetics. The other thing is as well is that he's choosing quite refined foods mainly throughout the day. So let's go down a little bit here. Let's go to breakfast on Friday. So breakfast on Friday is quite bad because he's actually skipped it. He said he's got a busy morning. So the first thing that he eats is a microwavable pepperoni pizza, which is again processed food, and he's got a large orange juice. Now, another thing that you may not know about things such as like having a large orange juice, a lot of people think that that's good because I'm getting a good dose of vitamin C, and yes, having a good dose of vitamin C is good, but what outbalances it is the amount of sugar that you get inside orange juice. Now, fresh orange juice or orange juice that's shop brought will generally have more sugar per teaspoon than would do, let's say, something like a normal Coca-Cola. So you get a normal glass of Coke and a normal glass of orange juice. The orange juice will actually have more sugar in it. And most people don't know that. But that, again, is another reason as to why Guy has got type 2 diabetes, is because he's constantly spiking his insulin and he's constantly spiking his blood sugar levels by having too much refined food, refined sugars, refined grains. And he's also having some processed foods as well, which I'm going to be going to helping him with his, the management of your gut biome, the management of your metabolism, because Guy, and he knows this, Guy has got a metabolic disease now with type 2 diabetes. He's got a metabolic problem, and it's my job to try and help him cure that problem. So how I do that, if you're just looking at this diary here, is we're going to start to try and edit and refine and make his diary better. Now what we've started to do is we've started to work out the foods that he likes. So what I do with my clients is I sit them down either on a video call or one-to-one, and we go through the foods that the client enjoys having. So it's really important when you're doing a food diary for an individual that you don't make it a diet, that you don't make it something that they hate doing. It's got to be something that lasts for forever, really. This has got to be something that they love doing. They love turning to the recipes. They love turning to the food because it's all the food that they've chosen and it's all the food that they like. So after interviewing Guy and sitting down and talking about the foods that he would eat if they were served up to him, but from a whole food point of view rather than from a processed and refined grains and refined sugars and stuff, what we start to look at here is a slightly different diary. So the diary, for example, has got different options. So now what we're doing is we're giving Guy options for breakfast. So we're not just saying Monday, this is what you have, Tuesday, this is what you have. What we're doing instead, and I'll do this for you on the board a little bit later on to give you a bit of a better example, we're going to give Guy options. So if you look here for Guy, Guy has now got breakfast options rather than just having one particular thing that he can turn to, such as his Special K in the morning. He can now look at having things such as option 1, which is Greek yogurt. Option 2 is oatmeal with eggs and bacon. Option 3 is bran flakes with a yogurt bowl. And option 4 is fruit and honey in an oat smoothie. So these are all things that he can now have, but the mastery behind this plan that I'm doing for Guy is that everything is weighed out and everything is balanced to what he needs in terms of his macronutrients, so his proteins, his fats, and his carbs. And it's also balanced in terms of how many calories he needs, because the majority of people that I work with, believe it or not, they've got type 2 diabetes and they're obese. Or they're people who struggle with their weight and their weight needs to be smaller. They need to have a smaller circumference around their waistline. However, when you speak to a lot of people, they don't tend to eat proper full meals. A lot of the time you find that these people binge or they snack, or they have meals but they snack as well. And so the whole idea is to try and encompass the amount of food that they actually need with the right amount of macronutrients. So everything's weighed out for the individual. So those things have all been basically created by Guy. He's basically given me all the information that I need for things that he would eat if they're put in front of him. All I'm doing is I'm just creating a recipe. I'm including the foods that he wants. I'm also including some of the foods that I'd like him to eat. So one thing that I find with a lot of people with type 2 diabetes is that they don't have enough fiber in their diet. And they kind of say, oh, I have a piece of fruit a day, but having one piece of fruit a day isn't really enough fiber. So what I try to do for individuals is up their intake of their fiber. Again, this is all food that he's chosen to use. I do create these recipes from scratch. Obviously, I have to do a lot of research in terms of how to build recipes for people, but you get better and better at it as time goes on. And so every individual client that works with me has a recipe plan, a personalized nutrition plan that's built from scratch, but it continues. So I work with clients anywhere from between 10 weeks, sometimes more because they need more help. But I normally work with clients for about 10 weeks. And within that 10 weeks, what you're finding is that you're editing the plan, you're editing the nutrition plan as you go on. You're trying to make it better. You're also within that trying to grow their habits more and trying to get them to have a better understanding of what they're suffering with when it comes to the type 2 diabetes. So guys, now you've got a general understanding of what happens with the nutrition plan. I'm going to break it down for you a little bit more over here on the whiteboard. Okay guys, so here we are on the whiteboard, and what I want to do for you is just give you a very quick and brief summary or a breakdown of what Guy's nutrition plan would look like if it were to be executed. So let's say that you've got a Monday here, and in that Monday you've got your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and a snack. So let's say that you've got your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a small one over there for snack. So in your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, you've got options, and that's what I create for my clients is options. So those options, let's say that they're 10 options per meal. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, what are the options? So let's say that they're options 1 to 10 for each individual lane, and what's going to happen there is that, let's say that Guy, because this is Guy's plan, what we're going to say there for Monday, option 1 is what he's going to choose. So he's going to choose option 1 for his breakfast, which might be a yogurt with some honey and some berries, something of that nature. Again, all of this is weighed out and prepared for you on the program. Then you come to lunch, and Guy is going to choose option 3. Then you come here to dinner, and Guy is going to choose option 8. Okay? And then the snack, let's say the Guy is just going to choose something simple like a handful of almonds, something that he's chosen. So almonds are option 2 on his graph. So he's basically on his Monday, and this can be repeated throughout Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's got option 1, option 3, option 8, and also for a snack, he's got option 2. What does this mean for Guy? This basically means that Guy will have an amount of macros that he needs to hit every single day. And with those macros, he would also need to hit, I'm going to write it over here. What he's got his BMR, which is basal metabolic rate. He's got his macros. He'll also need to meet his requirements of what he's doing in terms of physically. So he's going to work, he's going to exercise. So you're going to have to include those things in there, such as work and exercise, and how you're going to include the meals within those things. So such as work, exercise, socializing, things of that nature, they're all really important to consider. However, the art of this, what I'm trying to get to, the art of this is that option 1, if he chooses that, option 3, and option 8, and option 2, all tally to the macronutrients that he needs per day. So let's do it again, that Guy decides on another Monday on the following week to choose option 3, option 4, and option, let's say, 2. The macros will always meet his requirements per day. That's basically what's going to happen. So the macronutrients are all tallied or all tailor-made for Guy, no one else, just Guy, with the foods that he likes, with the foods that he's chosen. I've then created him recipes, which again, he's agreed to eating because they're the things that he thinks he's going to like. They take into consideration his BMR, his overall macronutrients, and his work and exercise and his social lifestyle. And also, it's all weighed out and measured for him. So everything that he has is weighed out and measured. So that's just a very brief basic summary of how someone's nutrition plan can actually be tailor-made and built for them. And you're more than welcome to take this for yourself and just use it as an idea. Obviously, it's not the same because you're not getting the coaching, but that's fine. You can actually get a really good balance. And again, like I say, what would imbalance this is having something like a snack. And let's just put snacks in here. So he's got a snack between breakfast and lunch. He's got a snack between lunch and dinner. He's got a snack after dinner. And let's say that they were all really unhealthy snacks, like a really sugary cappuccino or latte. They're going to spike his insulin. So this, again, is another thing. So I'm just going to put insulin here is really important to be able to control. If we can control insulin, we can control Guy's weight, and we can also start to lower his blood glucose. And for me personally, I've actually worked with diabetics now who have actually reversed their type 2 diabetes. They've had type 2 diabetes, they've been on medication, some of them have even been on insulin, which is quite severe. When you start to have injectable insulin, it's not a good thing. However, I've now worked with 17 diabetic clients who've actually reversed their type 2 diabetes. And what I'll do is, in this video, I'll link some testimonials to some of the clients that I've worked with who've had some really positive results, just so that you can get an idea of what it's like working with me. Anyway, that's Guy's basic plan. So just to recap and summarize, guys, when I work with type 2 diabetics, I kind of feel that there's a split between people. So I get a lot of inquiries, I get a lot of leads, and I only work with a very small amount of people because they've got that something about them, that sort of je ne sais quoi thing about them where they're willing to work, they're willing to put the time and effort in. I'll give you an example. So there's a guy that I've worked with very closely for the last few years, and there's actually a video on YouTube, which I'll also link right now up in the screen. And that's a guy called Andy. And Andy, was someone who was not only a type 2 diabetic at an early age, at 36, I believe, but he also lost his father to type 2 diabetes. And his father also lost or had his leg amputated due to gangrene, which was caused by type 2 diabetes. So for Andy, diabetes was something that he did not want. He did not want to have this disease, and he felt it was preventable, but he knew that he needed to have the right coaching and the right nutrition plan built for him. And that's kind of where I came into the picture. However, there are people of the kind of second category who are very much going to rely on things such as medication and kind of just having a wishy-washy kind of attitude about diabetes. The thing with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is that it's a slow burner. It doesn't just happen overnight. And most of these metabolic diseases are all the same. They don't just happen, in a matter of weeks or a matter of months. They happen over a long period of time. So the normal scope of time, just to give you an idea, the normal scope of time for individuals who have type 2 diabetes, and this also goes for people who are developing atherosclerosis, things such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things of that nature, they all kind of go within the similar band. But I know for a fact that type 2 diabetes starts sort of between 13 to 14 years prior to when it becomes a problem. So that's the length of time it takes for diabetes to kind of rear its head. Now, with type 2 diabetes, the reason that I work with people is because it's never really too late. There's always a way that you can improve your diabetes. You can always improve your HbA1c reading. There's always a way that you can lower your blood sugars and everything of that nature. And there's always a way that you can improve your health and your lifestyle and your well-being. And for the ones who want to do that, they often find that having a coach such as myself is something that's beneficial to them. So that's what I would say, that there are two types of individuals that I come across when it comes to type 2 diabetes. Those who want to work and those who want to do something about the disease. And then those who kind of just feel like it's not prevalent enough for them at the time to do something about it, and that they're happy to take medication. Now, as a disclaimer, on medication, I'm not against it whatsoever. the medication that we have nowadays is fantastic. It really does help control the diabetes. Without medication, diabetes would become a lot more aggressive, a lot more rapidly, and would be probably just as bad as what cancer can be, because it can develop very quickly, and it can leave the individual internally very broken down. So like their muscle tissue starts to break down, which then leads eventually onto things like gangrene, and you start to get a shortness of breath because there's not enough oxygen in your blood because there's too much sugar in your blood, all sorts of different things. But medication isn't the answer. Medication isn't a cure. All the medication that we have now for type 2 diabetes only monitors and controls diabetes until it gets worse. That's the most important thing that I'd probably take away from this video, is that if you are a type 2 diabetic and you are someone who's on medication, just know that it's not forever, that you are going to start to have to increase the amounts of medication that you're on until you get to the point where you're going to have to start taking insulin injections. And that's been true for some of my clients that I've actually worked with. I've worked with a couple of clients who have done really well. They've come away from the program, they've left feeling, invigorated, and they've had some good results. They haven't reversed their type 2 diabetes, but it's not a big deal. It's not, the main goal isn't just to reverse type 2 diabetes. It's about the whole scope of things, improving your blood sugars, improving your health, improving your lifestyle, and everything of that nature. But unfortunately, they've gone back to old habits, possibly because they haven't done enough time with the coaching, or just things have slipped up for them. Life happens, as they say, and they go back, and then they go back for a review with their diabetic nurse or their doctor, and they basically say, you're going to need to start to increase your medication again because your diabetes is gone completely off the charts, and that's because it's not being controlled. However, I slightly diverged there a little bit. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that you're saying medication is a great help. It's never a hindrance. The only time it's a hindrance is when you rely on it. When you're relying on something that can't cure you, and you're relying on something that can only sustain things for a time until they get worse. I don't feel personally, and my clients don't feel, that that's necessarily something that you want. However, it does take a lot of hard work. It does take a lot of commitment and dedication to want to change yourself for the better. And that's the other avenue of clients that I tend to work with, are people that really do want to do something about this problem. And they don't want this disease to rule their life, and they don't want to be on medication. They don't want to continue to take medication for the rest of their lives. They'd much rather see an opportunity where they can improve their lifestyle, improve their diabetes, and also have the opportunity to do something about it. Okay guys, so I hope you found this video interesting. Please check out the other videos that I've linked up to the description here. Please also check out the diabetic webinar that I've also created, because that gives you a lot more in-depth detail as to how I worked with my clients. If you need to get in contact with me, then I'll link my website below, and you need to take my scorecard, which will then give you a lead generation, and then it will ping it over to my email, and I'll then ping an email back over to you, and perhaps we can work together. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment in the comment section box below, and I will get back to you. Until the next time, be fit, be healthy, and of course, be a boss bar.